Good day guys, my name is Ben and welcome to my channel. Today we're gonna have a look at the Supaboy SFC, which is a hardware clone for SNES and Super Famicom. This one is designed for the sort of the Japanese Super Famicom look. There is another version, a previous version to this, made in the style of the standard SNES style. A bit of a background: we never had a Super Nintendo console when we were kids, me and my brother. So we never sort of upgraded to the 16-bit era. We moved from 8-bit straight to personal computers. So I always wanted to get my hands on a 16-bit SNES. Unfortunately, in Australia, retro console scene is pretty expensive, and even if I managed to buy a SNES in Australia, it would be PAL region only, so I won't be able to explore the NTSC region games. That's one of the reasons sort of I wanted to get something that I could play preferably on the go. So this is portable obviously, and it's hardware clone, so it's not emulation. Just for comparison's sake, I love my emulation, but it's also nice to play on a real hardware or a hardware clone. We're also going to be taking a quick look at the Retrobit dual link SNES controller. So it's got a USB and a standard SNES port. So we'll look at that. These ones are not available in Australia, so I managed to get one from Amazon US and get it shipped over. This newer version has also got a switch where you can switch the resolution from 16:9 aspect ratio to 4:3 aspect ratio, which is pretty sweet. It says it's got a pin perfect technology. I believe that means inserting the cartridges is a little bit better, and cartridge sort of hold in place very firmly. NTSC PAL is a brightness button. We'll see in a minute. And compatible with SNES and SFC. Rechargeable lithium-ion battery. Without further ado, let's open this up and have a look at it. By the way, the box is really nice, nicely made on this. The first thing when I looked at it, this thing is massive. So in the box you got this and a pouch, which is good, a wrist strap, micro USB charge cable, and a AV cable, so you can hook it up to your television. This thing is massive. Let's put the box on the side and just look at the size of this thing. This thing is bigger than my Sega Nomad. So here, Sega Nomad for the comparison sake. As you can see, it's actually bigger than the Sega Nomad, and it's obviously thicker and bigger than the Sega's Game Gear. So here's three consoles side by side: SFC, Nomad, and Game Gear. Struggling to fit it all within the one camera angle. Yeah, but this thing is huge. Alright. They've pre-applied the screen protector, which is nice. It's got the standard controller setup, the standard D-pad, ABXYs, and left and right shoulder buttons, start and select. Same as SNES. Two controller ports, as I mentioned, on the front. There's a DC power jack, which is your micro USB standard slot, a power LED, PAL NTSC switch, which comes in handy when you're switching the regions, a reset switch, on and off switch, and at the bottom you have headphone jack, volume control, and the screen brightness and 16 the screen aspect ratio 2-in-1 button. So when you long press the button, it changes the aspect ratio, and just with the normal click it changes the brightness. All right, so start it up. It's booting up in the PAL region because the PAL switch is on. You don't see anything, unfortunately. With those old console, there's no menu or anything like that. You have to actually insert the game in order to say it. As I said, I never own a SNES, so I don't have any games. So for testing purposes, I've got this Super EverDrive China version. Again, buying the games in Australia cost a lot of money, and it's just a kind of a rip-off, and you're not helping the developers anyway. What I tend to do is I end up buying a lot more indie games from Nintendo Switch online store just to compensate for it. Inserting the cartridge is relatively straightforward. That's the cartridge in there. With the cartridge on, this thing just looks absolutely massive. Turning it on again with the cartridge on, now you're presented with some menu from the cartridge, and I'm gonna start a game here. So just to start a game, it says B to start, so I'm gonna just start a B. Alright, so the last game I loaded was the Super International Cricket for the SNES on here. So at the moment it's loaded in 16:9 ratio, and if I long press the button, it should then change to 4:3. Yep, so it's changed to 4:3 now, which is perfect. I'm gonna do a quick Pakistan versus New Zealand. And I'm bowling here, but I think the gameplay is less important. It's the actual device. Yeah, it's running perfectly. The sound is pretty good on this. Let's bump up the volume. So that's the maximum volume. That's the maximum volume on here. The screen is bright enough. The viewing angles on this are not great, so you almost have like a 20-degree angle window where you have to view the screen, otherwise the screen would be completely washed out. So screen isn't great, but considering you are just you're just looking at a really old games, so I don't think the screen quality is such a great issue. Being able to play all the SNES games on the go is quite amazing. I know you can get a GBA, which I have got. Yep. And within the Super EverDrive, I got many games loaded on here. So I'm just starting out the Chrono Trigger game. Just gonna erase the flash and hopefully flash the new ROM on it. Now this thing is huge, so you could be able to fit it into your backpack and take it on a train trip or something. You will look super geeky and weird though, using this on the train. I think the D-pad is really good. The button qualities are superb as well. So yeah, it works okay. Now, while this is loading, just let's check out the SNES controller from Retrobit. This is a dual link controller. So what it means that it's got two things here. So you can play with your PC using the normal USB, or you can play on your SNES using the standard SNES port controller. Now the game is loaded and it's got a nice little Mega Man branding going on here. The sound on this game is really loud, so I'm just gonna lower the sound. I'll just plug this in. And hopefully you can see it still. So this NES controller also feels really good. It's got nice buttons, a nice textured D-pad on here, and this button feels really nice and clicky. They don't feel mushy. This game has a lot of intro in here. I'll try and skip a few things. Yep, this controller works nicely as well, and that way if you hook this up through television you can have two controllers, I guess, and yeah, hook up two players at the same time, so that's pretty good. Alright, now let's wrap it up. So the build quality on this is great. Unfortunately the screen is not the best looking, but it works alright. It serves the purpose, I guess. Button quality is superb. Those two controllers work fine. Good thing about having that switch, so you can change the ratio and play it into the old school ratio, which is fantastic. Yeah, PAL and NTSC switch is nice as well, so you can play pretty much any games. On my next trip to States, maybe I'll try and collect a few games for cheap. Otherwise, yeah, I recommend this device. It's very well built, this device. If you can't find a cheaper SNES, this could be a genuine alternative to collecting an SNES. Alright, that's it for now. Thanks for watching this video. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe. That will help my channel a lot. Bye for now.